Hey, Shalom, unto the hopeful elect. I want to start off by giving all the praise and the honor and the glory unto the mighty Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash, and double honors unto the apostles and elders out of Great Millstone. Much peace and mercy unto the hopeful elect out there. It's your brother Ayak back at you again through the Spirit. All right, still pushing this powerful word unto you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native and Seminole Indians, which are the children of Israel. All right, also known as the chosen people of the Heavenly Father, which are scattered throughout the four winds. And Lord willing, your eyes are open in these times to see prophecy, being fulfilled, man. Yahweh Shai told you that those perilous times would come. And, and you can kind of just see them rolling on out, man, And it talks about, it being at a time like never was before, kind of leading up to, what's that, that was the 12th chapter, I believe. When the archangel Michael gonna have to stand up for the Almighty's people, and you can just kind of seeing it roll out, man. And just on my time on this planet, man. Some of the things that you're seeing in these times, I have not seen in times before, man. And these uproars and 5 to 7 million people, protesting, and it was a peaceful protest, but just still, man. Most people are, with their downtime is doing this, that, and the third. But to be, marching throughout the streets, and this is not just even in America; it's in other places as well. Because that's how it is around the world, man. Sometimes it's a domino effect. Other countries see, it's okay to, go and speak your mind and complain about the unjust things that are taking place, and you see those things taking place around the world. So other people are inspired to do as well, man. All right, but this goes, like I said, into the upwards of the people. All right, uprun for what? For a rulership that's just unrighteous, man. As the scriptures tell you in the book of Revelations, that speak as a lamb, but actually wars in his heart, basically, roughly paraphrasing, man. And they talk all that sweet shit and my American people and make America great again, and America is only, you're only strong as your what's that? It's a saying in the world. You're only strong as your weakest team member, roughly paraphrasing. All right, because the people that don't make all these amounts of money per year, they look at as weak, but those are actually the cogs in the machine that actually keeps this thing afloat, man. You think about it. You know what I'm saying? These are the people that are at the bottom are the ones willing to do the things that the people that the elites won't do. The jobs and this, that, and the third. You know, and you just see these things playing out. Well, like I said, it's just times I haven't seen before. Since I've been on this earth, man. People that I've known, family members, this, that, and the third, that have been on food stamps, man. They have always gotten it. You remember back in the day, man, growing up in the like '90s. You know what I mean? Food stamps was like, heavy commodity. You know what I'm saying? You would be, at that time you would used to get like a food stamp book, like a pamphlet of actually paper food stamps, like a 10 and a 20, this, that, and the third. It's been so long, man. But anyways, you would be able to go to the store, with a $10 and spend something and get cash back. These things were used, man, for the daily Joes out here, man, to survive. What do what I mean by that is these, the people that are getting by like this keeps them from, hitting these rich neighborhoods and robbing, carjacking, and this, and scheming. You understand? So when you don't understand that, don't realize that, you just kind of brush over it. You see, it's going to turn into a problem. So those perilous times is going to, it's already here, and it's going to kind of segue into, a couple of precepts that I have lined up, man. And hey, it's just tough, man. A lot of people, I'm just trying to see it on a full spectrum of things. A lot of people saying, okay, you shouldn't be relying on the government. A lot of people saying, hey, you should just get a job. But bro, think about it, man. Things are so different, man. Even if you had a job, it would take time to get the job. It would take time for your first check. You understand? And then right now, you take your ass to the store and go get you a shopping. Go get you a basket and go walk around the store and see how much items you are able to put in there. And you go try to check out the register, and you see like, damn, bro, I better got a few items, and we already got $60, $70, 120, 140 easily. I mean, if you got kids, man, shit, man, you spending 200, 230, That you probably go shopping 2 times in a week. You end up with $500. So you see him, and in these jobs, man, shit, you come on, man. It's just tough however you cut it. So it ain't no easy fix. Oh, just go get a job, man. People that actually live in these streets, live this low class life in the sense, it's more than meets the eye. You scratch somebody's back, they scratch yours. If you get my drift, you understand? See, without these things being in play, what that look like, man? That means the people that don't normally hit you up and ask for stuff, they're gonna be hitting you up asking for stuff. And it's just shit, man. You can't get blood out of a turnip, man. All right, but these are the things leading into Jacob's trouble because Jacob, it's the children of Israel, which is clearly in trouble, man. Because at least don't give a damn, not even a little bit. I'm gonna get into these scripts, man, but all these protests took place, and this nigga Trump, he went to his social media. I don't know if he has his Twitter or whatever he has, but he said, I wanted to thank y'all for taking your time and effort for these No King marches. And he said, what did he say? He said, basically roughly paraphrased and said he basically gonna have a good night's sleep, man, knowing that he'll still continue to be your president tomorrow. You see, so the niggas don't care, man. And that's how these, especially these elites, that their pride is through the roof, man. They only understand violence, man. They only understand action. When you have a piece of process, they like they finna go sleep on a yacht, on a hammock outside in a backyard, and have a drink and call it a night, man. All right, but even the Heavenly Father sees these things. Is the point. So the Heavenly Father, steps in, man. It ain't gonna be no damn peaceful protest march. You understand? All right. And these elites that do these things, they just, it's all good as long as it ain't them. You know what I mean? They ain't got to worry about their cousin or uncle or auntie hitting them up asking, "Hey, can I get $20? I can't afford a case of water, this, that, and the third." They ain't got to worry about these things, man. All right. It's James chapter 2, verse 13. It says, "For he shall have judgment without mercy, that hath showed no mercy." So they're gonna, the judging that's gonna be upon them is gonna be without mercy because you didn't show no mercy, man. All right. It says mercy triumphs over judgment. So mercy is key. You don't show mercy, man. When the shit is on the flip side, then what? You see? So you just take the scriptures talk about these individuals, man, that have no care for the old or the young, man. All right? What you expect niggas from old just get a job. So niggas that's what 45, 52, 56, on food stamps, you think they supposed to go work a 12-hour shift? And they still wouldn't, no matter how old you are, the groceries don't change. The price of the groceries don't change based on like your age, man. And they don't care how old you is, nor how young you is. People can't even make it this. These SNAP benefits, man. They provide a sandwich, just that, and the third for the children, man. All right, that's just being straight up raw about it, man. You know what I mean? You can't be all naive and this, that, and the third. We understand, it's two sides of every coin. We know some people are just, shit is rigged and fucked up, in the sense that you go to the store and you working all these hours and your basket, you got your basket is not even halfway full and you like, you sweating bullets, you nervous, you think about this, that, and the third, rather than, somebody walking around, in the same grocery store with a basket full of shit that they don't put no hours in, just waiting for the handout in a sense, and they got all the groceries. You understand that aspect. So let me make sure people don't act like I don't get that aspect. You know what I'm saying? But in this society, how we grown up, people have to help each other out. All right, and without that being in play, man, shit can get hectic, man. All right, shit can get hectic. I'm just gonna say it like that, man. You can't say too much, but those that are those that are in the know exactly what I'm talking about, man. This is Psalms chapter 12 and verse 5. "For the oppression of the poor, for the sign of the needy, now will I arise, saith the Lord. I will set him in safety from him that puffeth at him." All right, let me see what else other versions they have really quick. Mm, okay, I was just seeing translations they have, but basically, set him in safety from him that puffeth at him, because the niggas huff and puff, and they just, they just ain't trying to hear a damn thing, man. They don't have the sympathy nor the empathy, man. And that's just how it is, man. All right, I remember back in the day, my uncle, he used to always listen to reggae every single day, man. He to this day, I'm sure ain't nothing changed regarding that, but he used to listen to this one song, man. You know how Benjamin be, with them songs they make, and they crying out, man. Um, it's a song that used to say, if life was a thing that money could buy, he says the rich would have lived and the poor would die. He said, I can't take it. And that's how it is, man. All right. It's hard to get by as it is. And you strip people of that, man. It's like, what do you think the outcome is going to be? You see? So it's going to be those times where, we're going to get into the second Ezra 15th chapter where you're going to see, man, when a lack of bread touches them, man, hey, shit changes, bro. You know, it becomes a whole different ball game, man. And that's just from experience. If you ever go to jail, man, you've been locked up for some time. Everything changes, man. All right, the things that I ain't gonna eat that. I want you, bro. The lack of food, you be eating shit that you never would thought of. All right, and not only would you be eating shit, but the dire seriousness of that food, the food items, man, it becomes on a higher level of importance. You see, so you think a family, mom and dad or whoever, and they struggling and they can't feed their kids. What measures you think they would go to feed their children? You see, because if you look at it, they're not gonna go to these damn elite house and their mansions and their gated communities to stand the third and take anything from them. Are they gonna come to these communities right here where it's not gated at? Where a person is working these 2, 3 jobs just to try to get by, and you walking in with your groceries, they're probably peeping you out, man, scoping you out, man. Okay, yeah, he got, he just walked in with 8 bags of groceries, you know, you see. But anyway, man, it's just Psalms 12:5, for the oppression of the poor, for the sign of the needy. Now will I arise, said the Lord. And so the Lord has to rise up, man. That's what the point. The Lord has to rise up, man. All these protesting, yeah, I get it. People got to do something. But ultimately, man, we're gonna need, we're gonna need power to step in, all right? Because those with power, they only recognize those with power. You understand? Let me segue from there. Let me get this is the headline right here in Arizona. It says they let people know they're unable to provide food stamp benefits for November. And I was watching another video earlier. This older woman. She had called into some hotline that she was supposed to call in. I forget for what it was for, and because she didn't even know that these niggas is planning to not provide these things, which they have, and not to mention, they still spending millions and millions on the space program. This and the third, a lot of nonsense they're spending on, just on their weaponry, man. You know how much it costs to be shooting all these bullets they shooting at, these war game tactics and these test missiles and all this shit costs lots of money. And they ain't putting no mouths and ain't feeding all these people, man. But they love Americans so much, man. This is, hey, niggas be talking a good talk, man. All right, but anyway, just let you know here in Arizona, man, that not being able to they're talking about not providing the food stamp benefits for November. All right, and that's I forgot how many millions. What it says in America is what over 300 million people, right? And it says over 42 million people are affected by it's going to be affected by these food stamps. All right, so that's a heavy 42 million, bro. Come on, man. And you can't even imagine 42 million people standing outside. You imagine a damn Cardinal stadium, or one of these NFL stadiums, jam packed. That's maybe 17 to 22,000 people. We're talking 42 million, man. And that, wondering what they're gonna do when they get hungry. See, yeah, these things, man. Hey, bro, all we can hope for is that the Heavenly Father has mercy on us, man. That he provides, which He said He's gonna provide for His servants. So, the key is us, is to hopefully, continue to serve. That's the key. All right. Let me get I had second measures lined up. See anything? I had a few more scripts lined up. This is second measures 15, and I'm just gonna get to the point. Second measures 15 and 18. All right, it says, for because of for because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled. All right, so these cities gonna be in trouble, man. So your mayor, your mayor of that mayor or governor of your city and state, man, they ain't like, hey man, this shit is getting crazy in my state, and but those that are above them, and you ain't finna tell them what to do. All right, they just sitting in pride. They going back and forth, whatever so-called reasons they're going back and forth. But ultimately, man, shit ain't that serious. Shit ain't that serious. Bros talk about that too. That none of these scenarios are wasted, man. So these things can be used as a formula to make people bow down. Like, okay, I'm gonna strip the food stamps for 2-3 months. Okay, I know you need them back, but in order for you to get them back, I'm gonna need you to jump to this hoop, that hoop, that. You know what I mean? So that can be in play as well. We're just being what's the word I always like to use, man? We are men and women that are observant. We observant of all these avenues these things can take, man. All right. For because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid, man. All right. And that's just gonna cause, man, people gonna, who knows, man, lose their lives, and shit. Like I said, it ain't affecting these elites. They watch people. They'll sit back and watch people, take each other out, and let people do their work for them, because they don't give a fuck about us anyway, man. All right, verse 19, and man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, and that's what happens when your stomach be growling, man. All right, when your stomach is touching your back, basically, man. You're not gonna have pity on your neighbor, man. It's gonna be you or you or them, all right? But shall destroy their houses with the sword, man, especially niggas, that's carrying weaponry and this, that, and third, that shit gonna be used as a tool and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation, man. And that's what's going on, man. You're gonna see that lack of bread taking place, man. And it's just stressful, man, because those men of the Lord that do work these jobs, that do have relatives calling, hitting them up, asking for this, that, and the third, man. It just stresses us out. Which we gotta continue to sigh and cry, man. For what? For all these unrighteous decrees, man. It's just unrighteous decrees, It's I can see the so-called government didn't have it, but they have it, man. They pausing people's paychecks, but their paychecks ain't being paused, So the point is, man, their operations that they run, they are fully head set in those things, man. All right, they're gonna continue with the plan, man. You are prisoners of war behind enemy lines, and the scriptures tell you, man, our help coming from the Most High. I think that's Psalms 131. All right, so we'll end it with this. It's Exodus 15:9 says, the enemy said, I will pursue, I will overtake, I will divide the spoil. My lust shall be satisfied upon them. So niggas, they gonna do what their hearts desire, man. All right, it's sad, but it's true, man. I will draw my sword, my hand shall destroy them, man. All right, and they just coming to steal, kill, and destroy, man. Thou didst blow with thy wind, the sea covered them, they sank as lead in the mighty water. So the only option in what we're reading was the Almighty stepping in. All right, and that's what we have to rely on. That goes into Hebrews 11:1 as far as our faith, man. And it's verse 11, who is like unto thee, O Lord, among the gods? Who is like thee, glorious in holiness, fearful in praises, doing wonders? So what the Heavenly Father, what you're going to see is more wonders being done, because they have to be done. A script. People say in the world that money talks, but we are poor people, man. We don't have money to talk, so therefore, what, man? Our power gonna have to do the talking for us. All right, with these wondrous works that the Heavenly Father is going to do. All right, and so Lord willing, man, we we're able to endure all these things. These are obstacles we're gonna have to overcome, man. And mentally and physically, man, and spiritually, man. I mean, add that into it. All right, that's why it reminds us, that man's not gonna be able to live off of bread alone. Not then, and especially not in these coming perilous times, man. Okay, I'll leave it at that just for right now. Lord willing, I'm able to continue to push. Until next time, shalom.